Hello, and welcome to the third episode of the Planet Knit podcast. I'm your host, Silvani, and you can find me under that username on Ravelry, and on Instagram, I'm Silvani_knits. That's spelled Silvani, although I'm sure that if you found this on Ravelry, you already know that. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. It seems like people are liking the podcast and participating in the knit-alongs, so I'm having fun, and I hope everyone's week has gone well, and I hope that you are excited for another podcast. I've got my show notes here, and I thought we could dive in right away to the knitting stuff. As you will remember, I like to keep the life stuff for the end so that people who don't care about that can just not listen to it. So the first thing I'm going to show off is what I've got in orbit. That is my WIPs. It's NaNiSuemo, National Knit a Sweater Month, which is a play off of National Write a Novel Month. 50,000 words for novels, 50,000 stitches for a sweater, and I'm working on I Heart Iran, which is a cabled sweater that has a heart motif going up the front. All the details will be on my project page, and I will link to that in the show notes on Ravelry. I'm using Cascade 220, not even superwash because I'm boring. And, you know, hand washing isn't that much of a pain. So basically I'm working on the back. So I don't have anything really exciting yet. This is what I've got. So I'm using, it's the Red Wine Heather, I believe, colorway. I don't know. Check my project page. I bought this yarn a really long time ago. So I don't remember everything about it. I know that I bought it at Yarnology in Winona, Minnesota. So if you're ever in Winona, Minnesota, check it out. This all from the cast on edge to this marker is what I knit yesterday, and then I got in like a row and a half over lunch because I try to sneak a little bit in. It's my sanity. But yeah, since it's the back, it's pretty boring. It's just stockinette so far. The front is going to be way more awesome. And then I have to do the sleeves, which is hard because stockinette. I like knitting hard things. Or at least complicated things. I think that the stockinette looks really pretty with the heathered yarn, though. I don't know if I can get a good lighting on it. Yeah. It looks good. I'm happy with it so far, and I'm almost through a ball, or a cake. Size comparison. So I'm not doing two colors. I'm just doing one color. It's just you'll see. That's a size comparison. So that's one of my WIPs. My other WIP that I cast on is the Mystery Knit Along for the Geonitrix Design Studio. It's called Glaciation, so you should totally check it out, and it's not too late to catch up. It's never too late to catch up. No, sometimes it's too late, but I don't think it's too late. Josh hasn't said it's too late. So this design's by Josh Ricks, and it is a mystery knit along, so I'll talk about it, and then I'll warn you when I'm going to put it up in front of the camera so you can look away and hide your eyes. And then it will only be for like 30 seconds, so don't even worry about it. Then you can look back after that. So basically, this is, I'll talk about the pattern a little bit, so if you don't want to hear about that either, you can fast forward. Basically, it's, what I'm using is I'm using the Elsadina yarn that I showed last week. I'm using, the main color is like a blue-green. It's the Molecular Cloud colorway. And the contrasting color is black, which is called the Space Between Galaxies. As I mentioned last week, Elsadina dyes her yarn based on like pictures from the Hubble and stuff, so that's really cool. And basically, Josh likes short rows. And so this is like a explosion in short rows, and I love it. And I probably have a better picture for what I'm going to show you on my project page, because I actually everything I'm knitting this month is supposed to be knit on size 8 needles, which means that since I'm a loose knitter, I have to knit everything on size 7 needles. And so my size 7 needle tips are on I Heart Iran and not here, so I probably should switch around which cable I'm using for which, because this is going to be difficult to show off otherwise. But I've got this on my 30, oops, you didn't see anything. I've got this on my 32-inch cables, and then I've got I Heart Iran on my 40-inch cables. I'm using the Hiya interchangeable, so I just screw out the needle caps and switch them around. It's gonna be a crazy month. But so I'll show you now what I've got. I've done with clue 1. The interesting thing though is about Elsadina yarn, and I have to warn you about this before I show it, because you'll be like, what's the deal here? It's knit from the blank. So basically what that means is it's knit, when she dyes it, or for this particular yarn line, it's knit up into like a strip of fabric, and she dyes a strip of fabric. Well, what that means is it comes and it's all like squiggly, and I'll show you what I mean. But basically, that kind of makes it look not really wonderful when it's first knit up, but when you block it, it totally blocks out and looks awesome. So it's really just when you've got a WIP, it's kind of just like, what? Okay. But I'll show you, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to show you, so look away if you don't want to see it. So this is what I've got so far. And each of the short rows are like this. And there's 3 of these sections that do that. So, trying to be intentionally vague. And so after each section, or after some of the sections, we cut the yarn. So here's what I mean by when I say it's squiggly. Stop moving. So it comes off the blank like it's like you're frogging it basically. But I've got all 3 of these little hump pins. We were joking about camels in the thread because it looks like camel humps. Or if you're a math nerd, like some sort of function that I forgot about. Like, sine, woo! Trigonometric functions. Yay! Yeah, most of you don't care about that. So that's my WIPs for now. Basically, Josh comes up with a new clue for the glaciation on Saturdays, because that November 1st was a Saturday. And so what my plan is on the weekends, I'll probably knit glaciation and then catch up on that. Hopefully it won't take me longer than the weekend to do that. And then when I finish the clue, then I'll screw my needle tips back on to I Heart Iran and get to do that. And I think that I should be able to get both done by the end of the month. I'm trying to just kind of focus on those. I also have to cast on more things by the end of the month for some knit along deadlines, but I'll talk about that later in the month. So that's that. I have some FOs to show you guys. So what's landed? My FOs. I wanted to talk about one thing. I don't have a FO for it because I frogged it. The neon ski bonnet, which I kept talking about how I was going to knit it, basically, and I guess everybody else has this problem too, so I'm not weird or alone in this, that the pattern gauge, the row gauge is off. Like I got perfect stitch gauge and I didn't get good row gauge, which, you know, if I go up a needle size, it's going to affect my stitch gauge. So, I mean, yeah, you could block it out, but I don't want to force the yarn to do something it doesn't want to do in a pattern like that. And then the other thing is, normally I'd be like, oh, just knit more rows. Well, the thing is that the pattern is like row dependent. So basically you knit this band, and it's a free pattern, so I could talk about this. But you knit this band, and then you pick up stitches along the edge of the band and go up towards the top of the hat. So if your row gauge is off, then basically you're going to have to no longer band. If you no longer band, then you're going to have more stitches to pick up. If you have more stitches to pick up and your stitch gauge is fine, then you're going to have a really big head portion that's weird, and you're going to have to figure out how to do some decreased math and or just something. You're going to have to find a solution. And basically, right now, I don't want to find a solution. I have so many things to knit and so little time that I just don't want to deal with it right now. I know I'm being lazy, but yeah, I will do it later when I feel like thinking, and not now. I wasn't going to try to think about it on Halloween weekend. No. So, that's the thing that I didn't finish. So the thing that I did finish is Linear. I didn't block it because I'm lazy, but I did graft it. I don't think I showed it to you last week. I don't think I did. I think I said I was going to block it, but then I didn't block it because it looks pretty how it is, and I'm sure my mom will wash it at some point. So basically, here it is. It's really pretty. I'm really happy with it. It curls a little bit. I could probably block it, but I've just been so lazy and out of town and stuff that I didn't want to. You know how that is, right? Like things that aren't blocked, you don't want to block them. And this is the side where I grafted, so that's turned out really well, I think. I don't know if you can see the graft. I'm trying to go slow so you guys can see it really well. Holler at me if, well, not like right now, but send me a message or something if you can't see it well, and I'll try to be slower. I just don't want to be boring to where I'm just holding it in front of the screen for 20 minutes and being like, do you like it? Look, you know. But if you can't see it because I'm going too fast, let me know. This is still a learning experience for me. So that's my FO. I thought I'd do my UFO spotlight, or my unfinished objects that are things that I haven't worked on in a while and probably won't work on in a while. And if I do work on them, it won't be like really like there won't be enough progress to show you on a weekly basis. So here's something. It's something for me, which I tend to have a problem starting or finishing things for me. I tend to knit things for other people. But it's a cardigan, and it's a fingering weight cardigan, which I think it absolves me of all guilt for not finishing it. So it's knit also in Elsadina, which I believe I talked about, and this is her intensity base. I'm not getting a good color on that. It is like a ridiculous blue, almost purpley blue. Some people say this is purple, some people say it's blue. I'm not sure I could get a good color. Maybe the yarn will have a better look. Nope, it looks dark. There we go. It's really, really bright. It's like ridiculously bright. For those of you who know, I mean, it's like a dark blue, but it's like, it sucks the like blue out of your, like you look at it, it's like, whoa. It's gorgeous. Yeah, if you guys are familiar with Stephen B. Blue, from Stephen B's in Minneapolis, it's like that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, never mind. So I've got like a couple inches of the yoke and nothing else, and I actually put it on waste yarn last week because it was eating one of my cables, or it was using one of my cables. I shouldn't say eating, but and I wanted to use that cable because I needed it for casting on I Heart Iran. So I will finish that at some point. I'm hoping like December or January maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know when I'll find time or make time to pick it up again. So that's that. I don't really have anything interesting to say about that, except that the reason I really stopped working on it was because it was one of my Nerd Wars dissertations, and then Nerd Wars announced that they were canceling Nerd Wars. I got really sad. So I was just like, I don't want to think about that. But that's a sad story, and I'll probably pick it up when I'm less sad about it. But the other thing that I want to talk about is my needle adjacent projects, because even though I'm knitting a shawl and a sweater, I'm always thinking about what I could do next. So one thing that I'd like to knit shortly, which I don't know if it'll be the next thing I cast on, but it's out, the yarn is out and about, and I know what needle I've gauge swatched, I know what size needles I'm going to use. Guess what? It's size 7. This month is nuts. So, I want to knit my boyfriend a sweater vest because I've been promising to knit him a sweater vest forever, and I haven't, and all that. So, I will. I'm going to use this dark green yarn. It's like it's not really an olivey green. It seems like it's showing up as olivey. Could just be my screen. It's like a foresty green. Maybe a little tint of olive, but not really. I like it. It's Cascade 220 also, but I don't think I have enough, so I think I'm going to use, I've got some leftover white Baracco Vintage that I'm going to use as a stripe, because that's how you stretch yarn, is you make stripes. Yeah, so there's that, but we'll see how that goes. I've got a book that has men's patterns that are just basic templates, so I can kind of do what I want with it. So that'll be fun. Next up is the podcast spotlight. As I mentioned before, I'm kind of trying to go through, like, chronologically how I've discovered podcasts, because I don't want people to think that because I mentioned it in my first episode, it's like my favorite podcast ever. I mean, I think there might be some correlation to that, but I also don't want to pick a favorite or hurt anybody's feelings, because everybody's podcast is awesome and offers something different for everybody. So I don't think you can watch too many podcasts. Right now I've got my to watch list on YouTube is like 60 videos long. So if I'm not current on your podcast, I will be, and then I'll talk about you here. So the podcast I want to spotlight this week is Mando Bug Crafts, and that's MANDOBUG Crafts. She has a Ravelry group. She has a YouTube channel. She is probably one of the most, like, I don't know, I always learn the most from her podcast. Like, she has a segment for what she's learned. So she always talks about like anything she's learned, and she's learned a lot about fiber prep lately. So she's done a lot of fiber prep, a lot of spinning. She also knits and crochets and cross stitches. So you get to see all those crafts. And right now she's pregnant, so you get to see baby stuff. So who doesn't love that? And she has pets, and sometimes the pets interrupt the podcast, and it's funny and awesome because the pets are cute. And they don't make any annoying noises or anything. It's just like sometimes they'll climb out all over her, and you get to see cats. Or I think she has a dog too, but I don't think I've seen the dog as much. But that makes sense because cats always want to get in your way when you're doing something. So yeah, you should check her out. She is really fun to listen to. And I've been listening to her since the first episode, so I feel like I'm kind of loyal or something. I don't know. I feel like I've been around. Right now, I don't know if it's still going on, but it might be. She's having a craft with hand spun, like mid-long, so that's going on. I put something in for it. I don't have a lot of hand spun yet, so I don't have a lot of projects that I could do with my hand spun. So I only have one finished object in that. But yeah, if you are crafting with your hand spun, you should go over there and see if you can use it for the knit-along. Yeah, so check that out. For my product spotlight, I totally spaced and forgot to bring the stuff over here, and I could see it from where I'm sitting. So I'll be right back, and I apologize. I don't know video editing, so you're just gonna have to think for a second by yourself without me. Be right back. Okay, sorry. I'm on my bed. I'll talk about that later, like where I am and stuff. I have no idea how awkward that looked, me diving back in, or how loud that was. When I watch it, I'll find out. But yeah, no. Yeah, I will explain about where I'm recording and why I'm recording here and all that in a bit. Probably under administration stuff or life stuff. Because if you care about knitting, you probably don't care about that as much. So basically, who I want to plug right now, and oh, it's got kind of tingly. That's okay. Is everything matches my shirt today? I must really like this color. I want to like spotlight the product of Copper Centaur Studios, and they're on Etsy, and they're awesome. And I've used this yarn for a number of like socks and shawls, and it is really holding up. Like, it's really durable and great. And the color is really vibrant, and it doesn't bleed at all. I have blocked the crap out of stuff, and it doesn't bleed. I can't recommend this yarn highly enough. Nobody seems to know about it except for me, really. But basically, one of my friends started dyeing yarn and like put it for sale in our Etsy shop, and I think that I think the market's just super saturated, and everybody like has a favorite already or something, because nobody has really, I mean, I don't know how many people have really tried this out. It is really good. You have to try it. Like, if you knit socks or shawls or anything sweaters that require fingering weight yarn, if you need fingering weight yarn, you need this. I've used the copper or the Centaur sock base a lot. I've also used this is the Centaur sock base. It's 80% wool, 20% nylon, 400 nylon, 400 yards in 100 gram skein, and this is what the color looks like. The pictures do not do it justice. I guarantee you that this podcast with this lighting does not do it justice. I have a finished object that I would like to show off that uses it. She also has a base that has like glittery pits of copper in it, which I love. I don't know how much you'll be able to see. This is a shawl. It's Josh Rick's shawl. Urban Survival. I can't talk today. Urban Survival. And I used Copper Centaur sock, and then I also used the kind with the sparklies in it, the base with the sparklies in it. And this is just, I love this base so much. Like, it is probably my favorite sock yarn at this point. It's squishy and high twist, and it's very durable. It doesn't fuzz at all. Which I have to say about Tipsy Sheep, they are also very durable and don't fuzz, but this isn't about them right now. Yeah. So yeah, you should definitely check out. She has a shop on Etsy, and I feel like her pictures don't do it justice. Like, you have to like use your imagination with the colors. They're gorgeous. Look at them. Do it. So there's that. There's all my spotlights. For administrative stuff, or mission control as I'm calling it, I should probably just talk about where I am and why I'm recording here and why I don't have a better setup. Because I've been feeling kind of guilty about that, and that's one of the main reasons I've waited this long to start podcasting. So, I have an apartment because I'm an adult, or I'd pretend to be, and basically I work from 8 to 5 normal business hours, and on the weekends I usually go places. So, because I have a lot of friends out of state, and I like to visit like my family and my friends, and when I'm not visiting people, me and my boyfriend are off doing things. So basically, I figured recording on a weeknight would be the best option, and I feel like Wednesdays would be the best option too for me, because like it's the most, like, on Monday I'm basically catching up from the weekend. You have like on work thinking and all that, and I'm just exhausted by the end of the day. And on Tuesday, I don't know, just nothing gets done on Tuesday because I'm recovering from Monday. And then on Wednesday, I feel like I get a break before Thursday, because Thursday is when I'm really, really tired. And so I figured I should record on a weekday so that I'm in a consistent location, I'm not tired, I have all my crap with me that I could show you, and it just can be more consistent. The main reason I didn't want to really start podcasting, or I was afraid to start podcasting, was because I don't really have a great setup. There's a wall behind me. That's not interesting. All my podcasting buddies have like this huge setup of beautiful yarn behind them, and I don't, like, my setup that holds my yarn also holds like all my clothes with my underwear and everything, so you don't want to see that. So, like, basically I'm in my bedroom because my apartment has 2 layers to it. I guess my apartment has a downstairs and it has an upstairs. And the upstairs has decent lighting, especially during the day. At night, like, my light, I feel like, is at least semi-color accurate. Downstairs, it is a cave. I'm not even kidding. There's no light, not even during the day. And it just doesn't make for a good podcasting setup. Also, I don't keep my yarn and stuff down there. I tried that, and it gets everywhere. So, basically, this is just the best I have for now. I have no idea how to edit videos. I imagine I'll learn that later. And I'm also hoping that later I'll be able to like get a better setup. I mean, I think it'll take, honestly, with how much space I have and where everything is in my apartment, that's going to take a new apartment to get a better setup. So, I'll have to wait until I'm in a position where I can find a different apartment. Yeah, so, that's that. I'm on my bed. I mean, I think that basically, I'll just move the camera a little bit so you can kind of see. But, like, there's, like, bed, and there's a table there, and then there's, like, I sprawl all my knitting stuff over there so I can pick it up and show it to you. But, like, the rest of my room is a mess. I mean, my yarn's, like, over there, and over there, and over there. No, I'm just kidding. Like, my clothes are over there, and there's just no place. This is the only wall where I could set up where you're not looking at stuff you don't want to look at, and, you know, the side effect of that being that you don't have to look at anything. So, I realize my backdrop is boring. I apologize. I realize my lighting is not daylight, but when you work 8 to 5 and it gets dark at 4:30, hard to do. So, hopefully in the future I will get a better lighting and better setup, but for now, I hope that this will do for you guys, and if it doesn't do it for you, then there are other podcasts that do a better job than mine. I'm not gonna even pretend that I'm awesome in that regard. Yeah, there's a reason I don't have like an intro song or an outro song in my podcast like everybody else does. I don't know how to do it. I don't have the software to do it, actually. So, I'm just kind of recording this, and we'll see. I imagine that over time I will get better, but for now, you get this. Hopefully I'm interesting enough to make it worth it. Another thing that has to do with podcast stuff, Nana Swemo has started, as I mentioned in my WIPs. I have a knit along going for that on Ravelry. You should join in because there's a prize. There might be more prizes. I don't know. It depends on how many participants I get. Excuse me, I'm tired. Long day at work. But yeah, sweaters, knit them. The rules for that are that it has to be cast on in November. It has to be bound off in November. I don't care if it's knitting or crochet, or woven. I don't even know. But I don't know how you'd count stitches if it were woven. If you want to go in there and show off your WIPs, go for it. You just won't be prize eligible. And if you take longer than November to do it, I'll leave the thread open and we can chat till everybody's done knitting their sweater. Or until people stop caring enough to chat. So, that's a thing. And then, the other knit along that I'm doing is the Glaciation Mystery Knit Along, which started November 1st. And I believe I talked about that already, but I wanted to just say that we're only in clue 1. So if you sign up now, you could get the first clue done before the second clue is put out. So I just thought I'd recommend that. So then I thought I'd move on to light stuff and bore you with that for a bit. Today is November 5th, and it is the 5th of November, and so I'm going to watch V for Vendetta later, whether or not my boyfriend wants to. No, I watch V for Vendetta every year on November 5th. It's one of those college cult classic traditions that just you want to keep doing because it's fun. The reason that people watch V for Vendetta on November 5th is because November 5th is Guy Fawkes Day. And in the poem, or in the movie, they reference Guy Fawkes a lot. It's not really parallel, and it's definitely not historically, like, it's not, V for Vendetta is not really like a real movie or a historical documentary or anything, but it parallels Guy Fawkes Day, and there's a lot of references to it. So it's just something I like to do, because the poem goes, remember, remember, the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I know of no reason. I don't remember the rest. I haven't looked it up in a year. So you guys could look it up. I have too many things in my brain right now, and too few carbs in my brain right now. Speaking of carbs, today's the last day I don't get to have carbs. I'm so excited. My brain doesn't work when I don't have carbs. So hopefully next week I'll be more coherent and less scatterbrained. No, your brain actually uses carbs. So your brain can't. What someone was telling me today, and this could be totally false, I have absolutely no idea. I'm an engineer and not a life science person. But what they were telling me is that your brain can't actually use fat to power it. Which explains a lot. So, yeah, it's like too fatty or thick or something. I don't know. Science. Something with science. Look it up. Do your research. Ask your doctor. Not me. I'm not a doctor. But yeah, no, I need some carbs in me right now. And I feel like I've lost some inches since I started this class, but I'm not really sure, and it's kind of feels misleading. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, it's such a slow process that you can't tell if you have actually lost something, or if you just think you have, or if you're just building muscle and it looks nicer, or like what. I have not lost any poundage. So there's that. I think that's because I'm gaining muscle mass, though, because I'm eating like 120 grams of protein a day on this diet. I'm so sick of beef jerky and Slim Jims. I shouldn't really complain because I splurged and had steak for dinner, but so much protein. I'm so sick of eggs. I'm so sick of tuna. I don't ever want to see another tuna again as long as I live. I'm just pouting. But no, working out is going well, and eating is going well. I'm doing well with my diet. It's just, I'm just ready for carbs. Is all it boils down to. So tonight or tomorrow morning, they'll give us our new diet requirements, and then I get to hopefully eat more things that I want, or at least eat fruit. I mean, I'm so low carb right now, I can't have fruit. It's insane. There's too much sugar in it and too much fiber. Yeah. So, yeah, we start phase 2 of the fitness program tomorrow, and I'm excited to see what happens. So then, in other life news, last weekend was Halloween, and I had a lot of fun. I went bowling with my boyfriend's friends, who are now my friends too, I think, I hope. But we went, this is my boyfriend's friend from high school lives in Milwaukee, and so we went to Milwaukee and visited them and his friends, and so it was me hanging out with the friends of my boyfriend's friends, something like that. I don't know. They were nice people. They were good people. So I had a lot of fun, and it was fun. I don't really know what else to say about it except we went bowling and sat around and just had a good time. This upcoming weekend, I'm going to go visit, with my boyfriend, I'm going to visit his mom because it's her birthday this weekend. So, we have to go birthday shopping and then go visit her. So, I'm going to really enjoy that. I like seeing his parents. Yeah. And then my family is kind of starting to plan Thanksgiving break stuff. I guess my boyfriend's family is going to go visit my boyfriend's grandma. And I'm going to visit my parents, and I think my boyfriend is still coming with me. Anyway, so, I mean, we go out and visit his grandma. His grandma lives, like, out west, like an 8-hour drive from where I am. So we go out and visit her once a year anyway, so, I don't think my boyfriend feels as obliged to go visit his grandma since we just saw her recently. But yeah, I think he's going to come up with me to my parents. And my dad is already planning stuff for us to do on like Friday and Saturday. I think he's trying to get us hockey tickets to the Badgers game. And if he can't get hockey tickets, then I guess we're going to go see Joseph in the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat or something. But I think I've seen that before when I was younger. So I prefer hockey because it's awesome. But I will go to either event happily, or I will just sit on the couch in a turkey coma. I'll probably bring my knitting no matter what it is, because come on, you have to knit if you're going to go to a place and sit down for however long. So that's kind of my life stuff. I feel like I forgot to talk about something, but I probably didn't, because I wrote it all down. I'm just 5 minutes short or so of where I usually am. Just blame it on being so organized. Yeah, I really honestly can't think of anything else, but my brain is on low carb stuff. And work today was long. I mean, it was good, but it was long. I mean, I had meetings and phone calls with everybody, and I was busy doing engineering stuff, and then I programmed a little too, and, you know, day in the life. But yeah, you guys should totally hit me up and let me know if you watched V for Vendetta, or if you did something else like blow up Parliament for Guy Fawkes Day. No, don't blow up Parliament or any government where you. I know that the elections made a lot of people sad, so don't go blow anything up. Yeah, and then let me know what you're doing for Thanksgiving. Just talk about it in the thread, and stuff. I hope to hear from you, and I hope you guys decide to knit a sweater with me or share what you're knitting with me. I hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you next week when I will have space news. That's what I forgot. I forgot to talk about space news, but I have some really good space news that I think I'll tell you guys about next weekend. Next week. If you're really curious, Google Leonids. But if you're not really curious, I'll talk about it next week. Just leave like 2 weeks from now, leave that open. Don't play anything. I'm just kidding. Plan what you want, and then if this is important enough to you, you'll make time. But thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I wasn't too awkward or made too much noise, or I hope this was a good podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. So, as always, feedback is welcome, and I hope you get a lot of knitting done. Knit on!